And I am the CEO and principal of Tommy's Storybooks Proprietary Limited in Laidley, Queensland. We are at the QN Hotel in town here, and we're interviewing some authors that are going to be releasing their books at our annual book launch on the 29th of June at the Laidley Cultural Centre. And with me today we've got Jim Nicholls, who is a veteran writer with a few other books out, and his book that he will be releasing is called The Magic of Myanmar. So, hello Jim, how are you today?
Very well, thank you, Andrea.
That's good.
Yes.
What inspired you to write The Magic of Myanmar?
Well, I call it Myanmar actually. I don't quite know which is what, but, or Burma is the easiest way out of it. We made 2 trips there, and it's the sort of place where I think you can just fall in love with it, despite their troubles and whatever, and I just thought it'd be good to get it down on paper and share that experience.
Tell us about the title. Where did you get that from? And what have been the implications of that title?
I thought I was onto something when I thought I'd invented the words "the magic of Myanmar." But if you Google "the magic of Myanmar," you'll find about 47 different others have come up with it as well. So I hope I'm not plagiarising anybody. But
No, you can't plagiarise it, not the title.
Yeah.
That's all right. So, what is the book really about? What's the heart of it about? Tell us about this book.
It's got history in it. The thing is, once you start researching these sorts of things, you become caught up in it. And the history of this country is absolutely fascinating. It's bisected by a great river, the Irrawaddy, and it's just a fascinating place with fascinating people and fascinating things.
I know that the pictures that are going in this book are really beautiful, and it captures an amazement of the place. It is beautiful, yeah.
Yes, my word.
What books have influenced you the most? What other books?
Probably Leslie Thomas, who's an English writer, and Paul Thoreau, who's an American writer, and Bill Bryson, who is either English or American. He sort of flirts between the two. But I just enjoy their humour and the easy style of their writing. I try not to steal their things, but I try to model myself after them.
So sort of use their tone to create your stories?
Yes.
What are you reading any books at the moment?
I'm reading a story about Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
Yes, and it's absolutely fascinating. I think Abraham Lincoln is probably one of the greatest men that this world has ever seen. Ever. Yes.
What are your current projects?
Well, I've started on another book during a recent train journey to Tibet, to the capital of Lhasa, which I'm working on periodically.
Is there going to be another travel trip for this one?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, because a lot of your stories are based on your travels.
Yeah, it took a while to work out what genre I should be working in. I've written a history of the Salvation Army in the Lockyer Valley. I've written a true crime book on the murder at Glenelg Grove. I've written a novel about a bloke who runs away, goes around the world on trains.
You're a bit of a train lover, aren't you?
Oh yes, well, everyone should be.
Is there anything in particular that you find challenging about your style of writing?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything. I just try to keep it light and keep it bubbling along. Whether I'm successful or not, I'm not too sure, but that's what I aim for.
Now, you released a book a year or more ago called An Aussie in Asia.
I did.
That book had an interesting story to it because it went along your travel again. Tell us where that took place.
Well, it's a series of stories. It's not just one story. It includes China, Vietnam, India, Sri Lanka, where else? Burma, I'm just trying to think now what else was in it.
So there's a fair bit in it. It's
Oh,
a good
yes,
story, that
yes,
too.
yes.
I've got 2 more questions for you. The first one is, do you have any advice for other writers that are writing travel books?
Well, it's something I think you need to enjoy yourself. I originally thought that I should be sharing my experiences with other people. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, and whether other people are even interested, I don't know. But that was the thought behind it. And if anyone else is interested in that, well, obviously you've got to travel in the first place.
Yeah, that's right.
And try to keep it light-hearted.
Light-hearted.
And I also try to cast myself as rather naive, and you get into bits of trouble, you know, and
That
whatever.
might bring me off to that next question of mine. And my question is, you mention in your Aussie in Asia story and in general chit-chat with you from time to time, you've got a bit of a passion affair for free beer, Jim. So, you know, the free beer.
Is this leading up?
Is that something that influences your writing, this passion for free beer?
Not necessarily. I thought there might be free beer here today, which is the reason we've all gathered here.
So at some point we do need to look at getting some free beer for you.
Perhaps. Okay.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me.
It's fun.
And we'll see you at the launch.
And I must thank you for your ongoing support and input into all this. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Good.